Eins, zwei, drei. Herzlich willkommen. Mein Name ist Herr Rainier und ich bin hier mit meinem sehr, sehr geehrte Herr Bogen, das ist korrekt? Das ist richtig? Geehrte Freundin Markus und Ellbogen, Herr Ellbogen, Irumi Ianshi, Yogi Isoyo, Pakumchishi, Hago Makusa, Igo Isoyo. What's up, everybody? It's year 2022. Those are my two languages of this year that I'm going super, super hard at. A little Deutsch, a little Hangugo to start the year off. It's been a week here now into the new year. My holiday got extended because of pinche corona, but tiene que aprovechar el momento and getting right hard into the languages, folks. So it's been a great start to the new year. Really excited to hear what my compañeros have been up to. And yeah, so guys, what'd you think? It was my little German, my little Koreanish to start the episode.
I like
So
it. I like
how
it.
you
You're
guys
barking
doing?
up my tree.
Oh yeah. Because Cody gets back. It's been a year and a half since we did the Korean War, and I asked for an extension on my Korean. And so when Cody gets back to Canada, we're gonna set it up, finally get the Korean War 2.0 going. But it's the new year. Let's set the stage. Lots going on with the languages, as always. Just good vibes all around to start the new year. So, Cody, how you doing, man? You just woke up, living la vida coreana. ¿Qué pasa, güey? ¿Qué tal tu
Yeah. I
2020,
changed. Sorry.
2022?
Before I say anything, I gotta mention that I be putting myself on mute quite often because there's some construction that just started here
Oh,
yesterday, like right outside my window. Like they're destroying a building, so it's pretty loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it while I'm talking, but I'll just make sure to put myself on mute. But anyway, yeah, I'm doing really well. I've had a good start to the new year so far. I've changed my routine a little bit. So, in the past, I just like most people, I would say, I was pretty fixated on the idea of like uh, getting up earlier equals being more productive. But I think in my case, especially with my current schedule where I don't start work until 1:30, that's been kind of an upstream battle, kind of an uphill battle for me because I really struggle to get out of bed in the morning when I don't have an obligation to be up. I really struggle to like motivate myself to get out of bed in the morning. So, I decided to just start floating downstream and just go with the current. And so now I just get up later in the morning and then I do everything that I would like to do after work into the night. So now I go to bed around like 2 o'clock usually. And so far it's been working really well. I mean, for some reason it feels like the way all my day is organized now, it feels like I have more time. And I also have um like a more consistent chunk of time because when I'm finished work, like I don't go to sleep after I finish work, right? Whereas if I in the past where I would depend on myself to get up and then do everything I wanted to do before I start the day, I'd often like waste all of that time sleeping if I didn't feel very good, which was most days. Like I don't know about you guys, but when I wake up, like 4 times out of 5, I feel like garbage when I wake up. So yeah, I've just
yeah.
decided to switch that up a bit and it's been working really well. So I think I'll be sticking to this for the rest of my time here in Korea. And when I go back to Canada, it'll depend on the type of work I'm doing and what my schedule is going to be like. So we'll see. But in terms of like daily productivity, don't rule that out. Just because you're not getting up super early, like um like the mainstream says you should, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be productive. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's been
man.
going good for me. Other than that, that has directly correlated to my language productivity. So I've been doing really well with that. I've been actually studying when I want to because I haven't been sleeping, and it's been pretty good. I mean, talking with friends, talking with my girlfriend in Korean. Also, my I've been making a few more friends here through my girlfriend, and some of them don't speak English, so it's been really helpful for my Korean. And um, yeah, the other night I had a good chat with a Chinese friend of mine, and we were speaking Chinese most of the time for about an hour, which is good. So I got some practice there, and yeah, just other than that, keeping up with my other languages with my podcasts on a semi-regular basis, and yeah, just doing well. I've had a really very good start to the new year. I feel good. I feel like I have a good attitude every day, you know, too. Like I go to work every day, I'm like, yeah, like let's do it. Whereas in a few weeks ago, maybe I'd go to work and be like, oh, this job sucks. I can't wait to get out of here.
There's something
But
about the new year, man. There's always something about the new year. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, so I've got a fresh new attitude, fresh new outlook, and I'm looking forward to 2022.
Hell
How
yeah,
about you,
dude.
Marcus?
Ah,
Marcus,
Marcus! C'est
Mar-
Marcus ici. Bonjour
le
à tout le monde.
Suédois.
Le Suédois est ici. Alors, aujourd'hui, je représente et personnifier la grande province de
Ah,
Québec.
le
De
Québécois.
Québec. Le grand peuple. Le grand
Ah ouais?
peuple de Québec. Ah ouais? C'est vrai?
Ah ouais?
Fait que je conduis ma char. Je conduis mon char à travers le
Chat,
Canada, à travers le Québec pour mes vacances. Pour mes
Alors,
vacances.
did you hear the new you heard the new Inner French episode, right?
Oh yeah.
Hugo?
Oh yeah.
Shot, yeah. I
Oh, yeah.
like the part when he was breaking down the vocabulary, the Quebecois
So what's
vocabulary.
that channel, that YouTube channel, Ma Professeur Québécois,
Oh
Ma
yeah,
Professeur Québécoise.
the
I
guests
follow
on
her,
there.
man. Yes,
Okay.
I subscribe to her channel. So they did a little thing where he came over to her channel, and then they did a thing for his
Oh, the
channel.
collab.
The
Yes.
collab, exactly, the collab. So
Yep.
I just want to get the name right? So I'm gonna look
Yeah.
this up real quick on my phone. But needless to say, it is a new Sueco, or should I say Suédois,
Le Suédois.
that has
Yeah.
entered into 2022.
Have to change your name on here, your Twitter name.
Exactement. This is
Suédois.
a French Suédois, and this is not
Right.
like, guys. I have it's a I am 100% rejuvenated when it comes to my language acquisition personality, so to
Yeah.
speak. I am right now on track to become hyper fluent in French. And I mean, like, I
Nice.
have never been this motivated. I have not been this motivated since I went to Spain, since I went to Barcelone
Right.
Wow.
il y a 2 ans. But
That's
Wow.
let me just look this up real quick.
Yeah.
Français, what's her name? Québécois?
Mon prof de
Rebranding, hey?
Ma
You're
prof,
even
exactement.
rebranding
Sweat
with your
was.
clothing her. For maybe
Yes.
for the ones
Oh,
who are just
yeah.
listening to the podcast, Marcus is wearing a hoodie and it says Tabarnak with the
Tabarnak.
Supreme logo. And I'm wearing a Supreme hat. But it actually says Supreme.
Ma prof de français.
Mon prof de
That's
français.
so, like, big time shout out to her. Maybe we'll get her on the pod. But
Ouais.
if
Yeah.
you are looking for some French Canadian contenu en français, that's very intermédiaire, so intermediate level
Is
French.
it that
That's
nice?
perfect. C'est parfait.
How is it? That's kind of how I judge channels nowadays, to be honest. Are they kind of grammar heavy, or are they just like they just make pure, nice, intermediate content? Like what's she?
A little bit of grammar, but it's mostly
Yeah,
like she
nice.
wants like the mission of her channel is to teach French Canadian or Quebecois, like French,
Right.
Quebecois French. That's like the mission, like
That's
culture
her aim.
and language.
Gotcha.
That's the mission of that. And so she has a bunch of interviews, and then she has a bunch of videos just explaining like different ways of saying different things in Quebecois French. So I'm a big fan. I watch all her videos, all of them.
And she's just a YouTuber, right? Not like
YouTuber, yep. Well,
podcast.
she
Yeah.
might have a podcast, but it's
Yeah,
like
okay.
not super big if she has a podcast, but I don't think so. So I don't know.
No, man,
Perfect.
that's great. That's great.
One of these, like, there's a lot of, especially in French, like intermediate channels on YouTube.
Oh, dude. It's gold.
It's really like French is nice. French is almost like Spanish level when it comes to resources, if not better.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, I
not
mean,
better. So I mean, I have this sense that I want to become very French. Like I want to develop my
Yeah.
French personality. And I feel like 2022 is the year to do that.
okay.
Cool, man.
Right? Especially
What's
we're back in lockdown here in lockdown
Yes.
Ontario. So you might as well just I booked like
buckle
two,
down.
I do 2 to 3 italki classes in French every week now.
There was a funny Twitter poll the other day. It was like, have lockdowns helped, hurt, or like is it still the same? Like how have they affected your languages basically? And it was like, so it was kind of like, has it affected it? And most people were like in a positive way, it's affected
Wait,
it.
well,
So in the polyglot world,
my
it's like,
no, but well, it's both. It goes both ways for me,
goes
right?
both ways,
Because
for
I
sure.
go,
Goes both
I do
ways.
these in person
Yeah,
meetups, language conversation groups. So like I miss that, but then
course.
again, I have more time to engage and take more italki classes and do like online
Yeah.
stuff. But you know, like I'm in that mode right now. Like I've completely like eliminated all distractions. I've tweaked my YouTube algorithm to not give me any type of non-French content except some Spanish stuff because that I still watch that. But it's all like l'immersion complète. L'immersion complète maintenant en français.
So what you just said about eliminating distractions, that's again like coming into my world. That's been something I've been huge on. Not only lately, just like the past few years actually. Cuz this has been kind of a problem in my life. Like I tend to really get distracted by flashy things. So, this has been really not only in my language learning journey, but just for my life in general, just improving my life. Just eliminating everything unnecessary in my life has been really helpful to allow me to just enjoy every day more and be able to be more productive. So, um, yeah, I really am enjoying that kind of lifestyle where you're not checking your phone constantly and like being distracted by social media and like whatever. Mhm.
So sorry, can I just say something there
Yeah.
real
Oh, I
quick?
was done. Go ahead.
So I can't really say the same because I've been really big on Lang Twitter recently. Shout out.
Lang, shout out, hashtag.
Hashtag Lang Twitter. Lang Twitter is the best. Like it's such a
It's the best.
positive. It's such a positive,
the
like
best Twitter.
empowering place. It's like it's like my biggest safe space ever. It's awesome. Like I'm on here and it's like,
Don't say
freaking,
safe space. Say like advancing to new heights space or something.
yes,
Something
sure.
cool.
But
Sure.
you know, like language come up and Seabolt have like a live
Yes.
stream. It's like hell yeah, like
Let's
oh,
go.
it's such a good buena onda. 100% buena onda siempre.
It's
So I don't
The
know.
opposite. It's the
It's so
opposite of a
good.
comfort zone. It's like it's a growth zone.
Gross zone.
Yeah, but so I mean, like
Motivation
social
zone.
media. I'm like honestly, Cody. My perception of social media has grown significantly within the past couple months. Because before I was like social media distraction, annoying, not like anything that I want to have in my life. But now it's like it's actually kind of cool if you get into like the right space.
Oh,
Yes.
I know that social media has its advantages, and if you use it properly, it can be a great tool. Um, but for me personally, I'm more interested in being able to focus myself right now, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Like
I guess it just depends on your priorities where you
it's
are in life.
it's not saying like you have to be part of the community or chime in every day or have some insight, but it honestly just feels like it's just like a non-stop conversation, non-stop um insights, non-stop sharing, which I really like just love because the whole point of like going to Langfest or the Polyglot Gathering is like you're gonna be around those people for like a weekend and just like this surge of energy. But with language Twitter, it's just like this one line of like ideas and energy and people like once everyone's done, like everyone's it's mostly in English, but then after that, everyone just goes into like their free for all of all the languages they're doing. I just it's kind of chaotic, and I love it because every time you're
Mm.
looking, you're like, what am I going to see here? It's
Yeah,
wild.
I know, and like it's definitely something that I do want to be a part of, but I feel like I need to train myself to be able to handle it on a daily basis. I don't
Yeah.
do you understand what I mean by that?
No, I think you take it in however much dose you want to. I think,
Yeah, because
or maybe you don't want to at all. And that's fine too.
if I'm overstimulated by that, it kind of like takes over my life a bit. So I need
Yeah,
to be able to just like I need to be able to have how can I say this? Like I need to be able to just control how much input I'm taking in, not only from social media, but just from life in general. Like
totally. Yeah.
I feel like I over the past few years I've been slowly building that and constructing a good framework that I can work with, and it's getting really good, but I'm still not quite there. So once I'm there, I feel like I'll be able to contribute in the in the social media community a little bit more frequently.
Totally.
Okay.
So, Sweko, are you finding in this new French era of your ta vie, like, so any new like discoveries or what are you? How are you making it full Francais? That's my question.
Okay, so
Like,
like
how are
the
you doing it
problem,
full
like
on?
it's not a problem, but like the way my life works is that like half my life, or like during my journée, like my weekday is like mostly in like engineering world, right? Like I'm trying to
Yeah, for
figure out how
sure.
to like
Yeah, it's
freaking
the day job.
mill
Yeah,
stainless steel. That's like
right,
my number one préoccupation. Like that's my
right,
number one worry during the day. But
for
then
sure.
like 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock comes along, and I'm like, it's the freaking afternoon. It's like it's my free time. It's time to
Right.
like go into français, Marcus français.
What?
And
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like
for
I go
sure.
straight in, like I get in the car, throw on like one of the French podcasts. Like I've been listening religiously now recently to this L'Heure du Monde, which now have the
Right.
transcripts on Spotify. They
Where did you
upload the
find that? I tried looking. Can you explain where to find those?
Are you kidding me? So you click on the episode and then it says
I'm not kidding. I couldn't
transcript.
find it. I couldn't find it.
What?
And then
It's
you're
I'm
only
gonna
not
now.
look at
This
that
must
right now.
this must be only select episodes
No, this is everywhere,
or
man.
select shows.
L'heure du monde.
Yeah, I
it's-
went specifically to learn them on. They had an episode on Squid Game the other day. I was like,
yeah, haha, that was one of the best ones.
listen to Squid Game en français. I'm in.
Yes, you got to listen to that
Oh,
episode. So you click on
Yeah.
the episode, and then if you click on the episode, it says episode transcript on every single episode. Like you don't click on like play, you click on like the title. You get to like the page of the episode with the app description.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I see it. I see
You
it.
say, and then episode
Oh,
transcript.
nice.
It's sweet, man.
That is
It's freaking
dope.
awesome. And they're like, this is something Spotify's
Oh, that's
doing now
very
with
good.
like all podcasts.
I wonder if is that automated or is Lair du Monde doing
It's
that?
automated. Look, it's automated, but it's
Yes.
very accurate, man.
Well,
It
yeah. I
is.
mean,
It is.
yeah. Even if it's like a little off, that doesn't matter. You're getting
It's like it's barely off.
yeah.
Like
And
it
more
might be like
important.
one word every like
Yeah,
episode. That's all.
yeah. Because I mean, that's a big thing. I've been really getting back into Easy German in the new year, and like that's one of the things they sell to their Patreon subscribers is like, hey, get our transcripts if you subscribe to us.
That's gonna be obsolete.
Well, I'm just saying that's cool if like some other pods are just like, no, here it is.
I
for other
would
shows.
if I like I listen to Easy German podcasts too, but if I were
Yeah.
100% serious about like German right now, I would pay their full subscription
No.
and like do that because
Yeah,
that
yeah.
helps, man.
The only
It
thing
transcript.
the only problem I find with transcripts is like you said, what you're doing in a day. Whereas like if you do want to read at the same time, you usually have to be doing something stationary, like sitting at your laptop.
Fair. I'm not doing okay, so that's not in my car. Sorry, I said that I was driving and doing this.
No.
That's not the case.
No.
I have a bunch of other podcasts that I listen to.
Yeah.
But that's something that I do. I try to do that every day. Like I lie down on my couch and I listen to that episode. It's like 20, 25 minutes, and I go through the transcript just to make sure I'm like on point.
I gotta say, I didn't discover this until recently with the Easy German podcast. They do extensive podcast notes. That's not the same thing as transcripts, where they just put like the links to what they're referencing. Like in Easy German, they have the different sections. It's like Empfehlung der Woche, and they have like little jingle.
Empfehlungen der Woche.
Yeah, and then like I was like, I didn't really pay attention before to what like they were talking about. And then I hear it's like, oh, it's right in the notes. So I'm going back to like the very first episodes. My goal this entire year is like to re-listen to every Easy German. We'll see if I do it or not. But it's very cool. Like there's very extensive show notes. Like they're talking about Das Lied der Woche, and you can like click on the thing, and it'll go to like the Spotify like link of the artist and the song they're talking about that week. I was like, oh, this is sick. Actually, because then that gets you down like a bunch of rabbit holes in the culture in German. I love it. So
right, it's perfect. Man. It's perfect. So going back to what I was saying, so like there's this dichotomy, right? Like I can't just like do 100% French. So like I have to make money too, right? I have to work, but I try to put in like probably like 3 hours a day. 3 hours.
Yeah.
And book italki classes now. I'm probably gonna end up doing it every other day. Have an italki class every other day. So like I'm serious here. I'm not messing around. Like this.
Yeah, man,
that's
good.
And I've been like really thinking about how you advance in a language, like how you really advance in a language, not just like splash around and like learn a word or two, like, but how you really get to the next level. And you have to do it every day. Like you have to have these periods where you
one
are
element.
extraordinarily intense.
Yes.
About things, right? Like you have to be obsessed. These periods of complete obsession to actually advance, to be like, wow, like you went from there to there.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. Like that's never been a problem for me. Like that's like anytime I have free time, just languages full bore.
Yeah, but like
so yeah, you got to start with that. I think consistency. I agree. That's the first element.
Can I just give you an example?
Sure.
Like I haven't really gone super hard at Spanish for a few months.
Well, yeah.
And I mean, like, but I still like listen. I listen to some Spanish like every day, but it's like I haven't gone like super. I haven't gone
But like,
very hard.
Let's just. Okay,
but I feel like my Spanish. But listen to this. I feel like my Spanish has like, it's at a standstill. Like it has not gone better. Definitely has not gone better, but it hasn't gotten much worse, or it hasn't gotten worse. Like it's standstill. It's like maintenance.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
But I'm just talking about the elements of advancing to the next level. So element 1, do we all agree, like language obsession, or like a language infatuation, or
that passion's gotta be there?
I think so.
Like if you here's my hypothesis.
No, I want to lay out the elements of this.
Okay, you go ahead and then I get my
No, all of us. This is a group project. So language obsession, is that the first element? I think so.
I
then
think
what-
yeah, I agree with that.
No, but it's like there's different levels of this. Like it's like learning a couple words and like learning how to say like a new phrase, but then like actually going from like
Okay, well let's get into that part then. No.
going
So-
like reaching the next level. That's what I'm trying
at
to
the
say.
at the bare minimum, there needs to be interest.
For sure. Yeah. Because that's gonna fuel you day in, day out.
If
Right,
you're
like
not
s-
interested, forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like it's that old maxim where it's like the perfect method that you never use is worse than the okay method that you always
Yes.
use.
That's
Right. And
something that
that's
really rings true with me
so
because I kind of have problems with that. Also with like working out, like I try to think of like the perfect routine and then I never end up actually doing anything.
right. Right.
Yeah.
Whereas if yeah. So maybe one needs to simplify it, blah blah blah. Okay. I think that's the first element to like want to advance.
Yeah.
Then what's okay, Sweko, I think you were gonna say something. Then
Well,
after.
I don't. My hypothesis, well, it kind of played into
Yes.
what you guys were saying. Like, you need to be extraordinarily motivated. Like, I feel
Okay, I
like
think that's the first element.
you have to be not delirious, but you have to be you have to be like ecstatic.
Yeah.
Delusional.
Right. Now
Not delusional, but ecstatic. You have
Okay.
to be completely ecstatic.
right.
Ecstatic.
Okay. Ecstatic about the language. Obsessed, we might say.
I don't agree. I don't think you have to be obsessed.
Right, okay.
It
Maybe
helps.
obsessed is
It
too strong a word.
certainly
Obsessed is
helps.
too strong a word. I agree with
Yeah.
Pakuchishi. Yes.
Why not?
Interested.
Be-
Okay.
There are plenty of people who have learned languages to fluency without being obsessed.
Being like cash. Right?
But they all have one thing in common, and they're all at least interested.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can like sort of learn something like being casual. You can sort of learn something like you can get like B2,
Right.
right? Or
I don't like
B1.
the word obsessed though. Like
Yeah,
that's
no, I
too
agree with okay.
strong.
Cody's
But like
it's a
if you
strong
want to
word.
become like
Strong word.
ultra, if you want to become like ultra, like let's take someone ultra fluent, like Matt versus Japan.
In
Like
Japanese.
I can't really assess his Japanese, but I assume it's pretty good. He's probably obsessed. Like he's 100% obsessed. Right?
Right. Yeah. No, I'm
Like
just
if you want to become him at a language, then you got to be obsessed.
right now. I'm spreading out my obsession, if that makes any sense. Like I'm not
Yeah, but you
like I'm still language obsessed, I would argue. It's just not with one language all the time.
Yeah,
but
and
you don't
that's
really have that. You don't really have that ambition. Like you have the ambition of being like, yes, what you're saying, like you're
Yeah. But it's like
dabble crazy.
yes. But I would still argue like the obsession's there. It's just not like routed all into the one area.
Mm.
But I think the common denominator I'm trying to draw here is somewhat of a language obsession, which might be too strong a word. So for the more casual person, like a decent dedication,
Okay, but
something like that.
okay. So can I just share my point of view here?
Yeah.
Or like obviously like this is a given. Like everyone is free to do whatever they want. Like if they just want to dabble,
Free
that's
world.
fine. If they want to be casual, it's fine. Like I am 100% language libertarian.
Right.
Right? Now, right now, I am summoning all my motivation,
Yeah.
all my inner force, and I'm putting everything into Quebec French.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing. And with the ultimate motive and goal / ambition to become very, very fluent.
Okay,
Like,
but now I want to get into like what that actually entails in terms of like I think because once you get into those advanced levels, there's so many like modalities, there's so many options, mediums to like movies, podcasts, italki, les amis, meetups. Like there's so many elements to the pod. And like I sent that thing in our group chat the other day, like Azrin's little chart that he's doing. Like he's like every time he does an hour of like listening, he's filling in like the box of that. Friends, I'm not saying people need to do that. If you want to track stuff, that's fine. But I think to get like to an advanced level, I think it's like that well-roundedness in different mediums in the language, I think is an element that needs to be engaged.
Yeah,
you're-
yeah.
I was gonna say you're not gonna like casually become like C1.
Well, it depends how long you're doing it. Like we can get the whole conversation of like how long.
No way, no
One
way. You
wants
can
to
do
do
it for
this.
50.
Okay.
If you're casual
think
for
so.
50 years,
If you did 10
It's-
minutes of Chinese for 50 years, I think you'd be pretty damn good. at
Also, it
Chinese.
depends.
Not
It
C1.
depends on your exposure to the language. If you have
Yes.
no exposure to the language, then Marcus, yes, you're right. You have to actively be obsessed in a way. But
Right.
for example, if you're living in a country where that language is used, and you don't need to be obsessed about it because it's a part of your life every day, and you'll just naturally get better if you actively engage
oh,
with
that's
it.
a
I think you
that's
gotta.
that's an interesting.
Yeah, so it
I
depends on
think
everyone's
you
situation.
still gotta link into that though. And I'm not one who can speak a ton about living abroad. I've had a couple stints, but because there's stories about like people that never learn the local language.
Oh no!
They
Trust
stay
me,
in a
like
bubble.
believe me, I more than anyone, I know that, and I am very aware of that.
Yeah.
I've seen it myself. So,
Right.
that's why I said if you actively engage with it,
Yes.
then you
Right.
can do that. But that's the key though. You need to actively engage with it.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, now, okay, so Cody, you got me thinking here now, because I mean, like, okay, what about me? Look at me. Am I obsessed with English? No,
Maybe at one point you were when you were younger.
I don't
See,
think
I would say you weren't. I wouldn't say you weren't. I'd say that was more
I
of
was
a
never like
you had
I
to
never,
adapt
yeah.
to your environment.
Okay,
like a
but yeah,
survival skill.
that's exactly just proving my point.
Yeah, no,
Right.
yeah, I'm
But it
proving
wasn't
your
like
point.
you were waking
Yeah.
up in the morning being like English.
And
Yeah, no, it
actually,
wasn't.
people who are learning English are actually quite lucky in this way. Is that they don't people learning English don't really have to be obsessed because
They
it's
don't really have to try it.
even in everyone's own home country, English is everywhere. Like just like
Yeah.
living here in Korea and from my time in China, like so many Chinese people and Korean people, like if they want to, like they can just speak English all the time. They can like engage with so much English media and like they
Mhm.
barely even need to try.
Right.
Like, okay, Cody, you just touched on a point that I think about a lot. So, a lot of people just automatically know English, right? And I try to think about that when I learn another language, like French, for example.
Mhm.
And then I think about how do all these people randomly just know English or like
Yeah, 'cause
automatically just know English? You know what I mean? Like, how do they do that?
yeah,
Like, what's your
Mhm,
method?
mhm,
What's your method to
Yeah.
subconsciously just like learn English? If you
because
live
Yeah.
in like Germany,
ideally
for example.
in a perfect world, you could learn every language like people can learn English.
That's what
That
I'm
would be a
saying.
perfect language
Yes.
learning world.
Yes. And so I try to emulate that.
Yeah.
I try to
Yeah.
emulate, like, I pretend that like I'm living in like the Netherlands and I'm learning English, but I'm actually living in Canada or in Ontario and I'm trying to learn French. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like how come
yeah.
how come people in Quebec speak English? Not everyone does, but how come they do
But
that?
Right.
it's
Like
very widespread because English is
widespreadness.
everywhere,
A
man.
That's what
widespreadness.
yeah, but they probably
Yeah.
watch like English shows. They probably
Friends. That's why Friends
yes.
is
Yeah.
like insanely popular beyond
That's what
anyone's belief.
exactly. Right.
Right.
But you see my point, right? So I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
pretend
Like.
that I live in Quebec and then I'm learning English, but in reality, I live in Ontario and I'm learning French. So I flip it. I flip the switch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
I
gotta
think that
tap into that.
flip is something like with Matt versus Japan and kind of those some before and like so they had our episode with Julian over a year ago that it's called AJAT, all Japanese all the time, and he talked about like the neurotic level some of those Japanese learners would go to like do everything in Japanese. Now, I think for like many English learners, like that AJAT, however you'd say that, AEAT, AEAT,
Yeah.
AEAT, AEAT, all English all the time. You don't all AEAT. You really don't have to like neurotically recreate that because, like you said, it's just the dominant language around the world. So, I mean, it just goes to what extent you want to like completely like that 5 o'clock Marcus hits, and you're like, okay, I'm now doing AFAT. I'm these funny acronyms, but yeah, AFAT. You're doing AFAT, where it's like all French all the time. It's
Mhm.
like you could like
A cat.
all Cantonese. What's that?
Chinese, Cantonese,
Oh.
Korean.
When I first heard AJAT, I was like, AMAT, all mosquito all the time. Any language, really.
Yeah.
Wait, Sebo.
But I mean, that's the thing is like it's just all those modalities, right? Like all the like little. That's what I'm trying to mix up. As you can do it more as you get better in a language. Like once you hit that like nice intermediate level, okay, now you can start watching some TV shows with a bit of enjoyment. Now you can listen to like some more news broadcasts, read some websites, have like a cool italki lesson where you're not just sifting through the basics and stuff.
Yeah, I'm having a blast.
Right? Like it's that intermediate and
I love it.
you can really start cooking in that intermediate phase, I found. And like that's why at the top of the show, like these people making intermediate content right now, like bless your cotton socks. Like you're doing an awesome job, because to really, I think you got to go through that intermediate phase really to get to advance. That sounds like super obvious, but you got to like consume a lot of that intermediate material, because I think a thing we've talked about is like when it's something's comprehensible, it's really enjoyable. I've found like some of my greatest pleasures right now are re-listening to Easy German and understanding a lot of it. And so I think you really got an element to advance, depending where you are, obviously in the level in the language, but you got to really engage in that intermediate material, because I know we've talked about it a lot, like native material versus something that's slightly tweaked for language learners helps, but it also helps like what I thoroughly enjoy, and I'll have to check out this Prof de Francais, when they do add in like authentic elements, cultural elements to it. Like I listened to this Ukrainian podcast. She's kind of like 3 sections. One where she kind of does like an inner French type of thing. 2 where she goes like really into the grammar, which I don't really care about. And then 3 where she talks about like cultural stuff about Ukraine. So 2 out of those 3 things I really enjoy. So, but I guess it's just a matter of yeah, man. Like that's the thing. It's like language obsessions across the board compared to just like concentrating it in one thing. So I guess it's just like doing what you enjoy. Like you enjoy taking italki classes.
I love it.
Obviously.
Like right now, I so basically just to share where I'm getting all this, where I'm summoning all this motivation from.
Yes.
I have this dream. Dream where I'm
okay.
I see myself in the future. I see myself just a year from now. I see myself and I'm very fluent in French. Like I'm just having a really good time speaking very eloquently in French. I see that in front of me and I'm like, I want to be that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that right now is driving me. And like,
that's good.
There's nothing else that I want more. There's nothing else that I want more than to be that person in the future. Like to me, like this,
really
like this language thing, like I value it so much. I value it so much. Like I'd rather have fluency in all these languages than $1 million. Like I'd rather,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like because think about this. No, but Cody, you little pincher, you little pinch. Listen to this pincher.
How does one
imagine like a billionaire, like billionaires. You know they pay.
I know a bunch of them. They're on
yeah, they would
in
pay,
my contacts.
Yeah, but écoute-moi, mec. They would pay. They would probably. I bet you they would pay millions of dollars to be fluent in a language.
Oh yeah, because that's nothing for them.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah, but dude, you can't compare billionaires paying millions of dollars to learn a language compared to us being able to get $1 million. Like,
Yes,
if
but
I had $1 million, that would completely change my life.
yeah, but so would like being fluent in like some language.
Would?
Ah,
Yeah. I get
dude,
Cody's.
come
I get
on.
Cody's material point here.
Come on,
Come
man.
on, I'd rather
Like
take
so
$1 million,
boring.
dude.
Like what are you gonna do with $1 million? Like buy a house?
Okay,
Okay.
I don't
then
know if
Are
it
you
would be.
kidding me?
I don't know if it would be boring.
Yeah,
per
what would you
se.
do with $1 million that would make you happier?
I'd
Like,
be able to
That would be-
afford one of those.
I would be set for life.
No, you wouldn't.
You could
$1
afford
million
the
You'd
top.
be able to start setting yourself up for life.
If you reinvest, okay, fair enough. If you reinvest that in like a really good education, maybe that
Yeah,
gets
dude,
you a
like,
job.
You'd be able to
Sure,
like completely pay off any debts you have. Like,
Okay,
you'd be able to
okay.
buy a
Yeah,
house, like help
okay. So
out
you
your
would
family and
rather
friends here and there,
would you
invest.
rather live in like a really nice house, or would you speak fluent French, like ultra fluent French?
Marcus, there's always
You got to
time
give me
to-
more than just French. You got to give me like,
There's
French
always
and
time
My
to
Big
Spanish
Ten.
learn.
and okay.
give me my Big Ten.
Would you guys, Ian, would you live,
Yeah.
well, you already have a house, but let's say let's say you
Duplex,
you
yeah.
didn't, let's say you were still living at your old, you were still
I could always
renting
have
your
a
old
bigger house.
place. Right. Okay.
sure.
Would you have
Okay.
a slightly bigger house,
Yeah.
like a lavish house? Let's just say like a lavish house in like Cochrane. Let's say a really nice
Oh,
house in Cochrane, Alberta. Or would you want to speak like French, Spanish, German, like to a native fluency?
Dude, that's not enough. You'd have
yeah.
to, I'm like Ian, like you'd have
Well,
to
no,
give me
like
like
I don't know if that's
the
a. I
option
don't know
of
if that's a.
But who
speaking
cares about a house?
10,
Seriously, who cares
10
about a house?
languages amazingly
Yeah,
fluently
yeah,
versus
like I
$1
was-
million. I might take the languages.
Yeah, but like, okay, if you guys love money that much and like being pretentious, how
I
come you
don't
don't
love
work?
money. I
Yeah, but
need
how
money.
come you? No, but how come? Seriously, I'm being 100% serious now. Why not just quit like
Ik lebe
everything you're
geld.
doing right now? You don't become a language teacher, and instead you just go and become like a real estate
Look.
broker or a real estate agent. Like if you just want to make money, or like a finance person.
Yo,
Okay, I think.
it's not that simple, Marcus.
No, but
yeah,
if like there are certain jobs where it's fairly easy to make a lot
Yeah,
of money.
but then you're getting much more complicated. That's involving your entire life.
Yeah,
This
yeah, like
is just a simple choice between $1 million and a fluent language. There's nothing like you need
But
to pay for.
because I could take the million and be like, all right, now I'm gonna like buy the best italki tutor.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
like
I
like
think
the
that
money.
dichotomy
I
is
could pay one of
ridiculous.
those absurd German
that doesn't
teachers.
count.
They're like
That
80
doesn't count.
euros per hour or whatever.
That
they
does
charge.
that doesn't count. That really doesn't count.
Oh, so you're saying I can never do the language?
Then you can never, like, if you get the $1 million, you can never study any languages ever again.
Oh, okay.
No,
Well,
that's
that's
silly. That's
okay.
silly.
That's different then. You didn't mention that though.
Okay, but you get the point that I'm trying to make.
Okay, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
to,
like-
derail that.
You get the point that I'm trying to make. Like, okay, so here I'm making the comparison between
No,
my
you're
life.
just talking about like a big trade-off. I think you're just talking.
Okay,
about like a big old
I'm making a
trade-off.
comparison between our lives and like let's say some no bad feelings or anything, but compared to like some finance bro, like some hedge fund
Yeah.
analyst or some financial analyst who like
The
spends
hedgies.
who spends their days just sitting in front of a computer trying to like
Right, like
make numbers work for them so they become rich, compared to like learning languages and stuff. Like, isn't it more rewarding?
I don't know, man. Lots of people don't care about languages. That's a fact.
Yes, but
They
are
don't
they
care.
just oblivious? Are they just like muggles?
Well, I've told you that story, right? I've told you that story. Like the guy that runs the every month, it's called the Huggins International. We should do it one month. We should all sign up for it whenever it works out. Where it's like for an entire month, each day there's a topic, and you have to make like a little voice recording on the topic. We should do it for French in February if you're interested. But anyways, this Jonathan Huggins guy, he like at Langfest, right? He's a bit of a celebrity, and like because in his normal life he's not, but when he's amongst a bunch of like language people, he is. And then once Langfest had ended, his first his first post on Facebook was like, "I'm back amongst the Muggles." Like that's his first.
yeah.
tweet. I think it perfectly contrasts the like complete obsession nature of like language learners and polyglots of normies who are like, ah, whatever. Like that'd be nice, but work or kids or something. I
Well,
don't
no,
know.
yeah, no.
But like
I'm just trying
I
to
get your
express
contrast. I get your contrast.
my gratitude towards my
Yeah.
language obsession.
Okay.
And I know people will understand because like I don't aspire like I'd rather like learn a bunch of languages than like try to make as much money as possible, if that makes sense in life.
Okay, I get you.
Some
Yeah.
polyglots like maybe you can do both sometimes through languages, like
Fair enough.
like the YouTube polyglotters that are super popular. But okay, I want to go back to this. Okay, you laid out your vision, your goal to being the super fluent French person. So that's the goal. Okay, now my argument that I briefly brought up last episode is you need a system now to get to that goal. And I think systems are super important. And I think that system, as you kind of laid out, talked about like at 5 o'clock, hitting the podcasts, hitting the YouTube. And that's part of the consistency element. That's part of the dedication element. But this systems, which I've been really like trying to hone in on these first days of 2022 so I can get it really like ingrained here before I have to go back to my 9 to 5 grind here on Monday, is like that it's like that automatic. And it kind of relates to like my triathlon training, where it's like if I just have a system in place to see how far I can get with that system, say, than like the actual goal that might be achieved. So basically I'm saying, like, is your system just that, like as soon as 5 o'clock hits on most days, like you're going to be given it en français? Like, is that what you kind of think might be happening?
Perhaps. Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
I don't, if
I'm
you
saying
want to
system.
call
I'm more of a
this,
systems guy now.
if you want to call it a system, then it's my system. My system is
Yeah.
to spend most of my free time doing languages because there's nothing else you can
Okay.
do in my life, at
Right.
least.
Dug forward for the language.
Well, I've been trying to play the guitar more, but otherwise,
That's
yeah,
good. Yeah.
I get. You know what I mean?
I've been doing that too, actually. Speak of the devil. I'm trying to see if like other little, because I think music's an interesting one with languages. Like if I can kind of like stimmy my brain and like music, because there's kind of like a music. Some people try to really connect the dots with music and languages. I think there is like a musicality element, but like just the listening part kind of thing. But yeah, I'm trying to like stimmy my brain too in that regard. I don't know. Like that's what I always wonder sometimes. Is like, what else could I do a little bit? I think exercise is big. That's part of my system. Is like exercise and language learning anything. I think, but like, why not? Especially with languages. Like I really try to connect exercise and languages. That's definitely part of my system. Is I think the body's relaxed. It's more capable of taking in information. Solidifying information.
So you mean language learning after exercise
or during? Sometimes
I don't know how you exercise, man. But when I exercise, I want to like die. Like,
well, it depends on obviously the workout. Like riding a bike, for example. Like riding a bike, you can easily listen to like a Pimsleur or watch a TV show.
Or running. Running is good for that too. Like just jogging.
I do music. I can't, like, we talked about this before.
We talked about
it. Like if I'm running, like I do like 5Ks like as fast as I possibly can.
Okay.
And like
so
I'm at like 90% like constantly, and I cannot
forget
focus
during
on Pimsleur
for some exercises.
But I do like maybe
after. I think you should.
Like if you take advantage maybe of the endorphins, like the runner's high.
Yes,
to like,
that's it. That's just it. That's just
get a Pimsleur happen.
Yes.
Maybe
compared to like Cody talked about being droggy sometimes in the morning, versus like those endorphins post runner's high. I think I posit that your language learning would be better facilitated with the endorphins.
Perhaps. So I mean, going back to like what Cody said about his mornings, I'm very efficient in the mornings. Like I feel like it is a very
Well, everyone's different, right?
like I
Yeah,
am the more okay, not sorry, but let me rephrase that. I am very receptive to information in the morning. Do you guys know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I feel like my brain is I try to do some language learning in the morning because I feel like everything just sticks, right? Like I feel like
It's when
everything
you're receptive. Like for
exactly. I'm
you, it's morning. For
extraordinarily
Cody,
I'm
it's later at night now. I kind of have to do mornings with my job. Like it's just the way it is.
no, but I
But
think
like
that's a scientific thing that after
I
sleep
don't.
your
I
brain
think it.
generally after sleep, like post sleep, your brain is like fresh and
Sure,
ultra receptive to any type of
could
fatiguing
be.
task.
I think whatever works. Like if that's working for Cody here, I think you should stick with that.
No,
100%.
fair enough.
yeah. You just gotta
Right.
find your own rhythm.
Find what works. And I can give two like celebrity examples. So Jocko Willink, who runs like ex-military squad. Was he on? Was he a
He
Navy
was
SEAL?
he was a Navy SEAL.
He's a Navy SEAL, and he posts things at like in the morning, like his watch. It's like 4:12 a.m.
Yeah,
Going for a run.
yeah.
Like, all right, Jocko, like go hard. Whereas like Tim Ferriss, who's another kind of lifestyle hacker dude, he's a huge night owl, from my understanding. Like he does lots of his writing after midnight, 1 a.m., sleeps in to like he's a millionaire, so he can do that. That's what I would do if I had $1 million. I would sleep in all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just like okay, like whatever works with your lifestyle. Like just figure out what works best for you. And again, to my systems ideas, like if that fits your system, morning or night, like
Mhm.
be consistent with that.
And also there's realities that you have to deal with too, because like most of us can't live our ideal lives because of the constraints of reality.
Yeah,
Like you just said, if you had $1 million, you would sleep in, like that
correct.
kind of thing. And in my life too, like my schedule is not my work schedule is not really my ideal schedule. It's not really the way that I would structure my day in a perfect world,
Right.
but I just
Right.
have to deal with what I have in the best way that I can.
The constraints. Totally. And I think if everyone can figure out what works best, then for them personally, that's what to do.
Hmm.
Really. I don't think like dabbling in 10 different languages at once is for everybody, but if you figure out a way to make it work and feel like you're okay with it and making a progress that you're comfortable with, then
Hmm.
do it. So, bueno, ¿es la hora de poner o qué?
So, okay,
Hey, do you want to explain to the
okay, I
la
can explain it.
audiencia?
I can
Sure.
explain it.
Let's
So I
this
had the
idea.
idea that I think it would add some extra spice to the podcast because we are a
Spicy.
language learning podcast. If we, at the end of each episode, if it's only with us or with a guest, perhaps
Invitados.
spend
Oh, by the way,
exactly
folks, lots of guests coming up this year.
lots of guests, spend like 10, 15 minutes speaking in our target languages with each other, just so if the listener is interested in seeing what levels we're at, maybe sometimes it's fun. Like I think it's fun to like listen and follow other polyglots online with
Totally.
like their progression in their target languages, and I just think
Absolutely.
it's fun to see like the different levels that people are at and kind of see like what they're doing and what words they're using and what phrases they've learned.
Hmm.
That just is something that I enjoy doing, so I feel like perhaps other people would enjoy doing that as well. So to add some extra content or add some extra spice to the podcast, I have introduced to the boys the idea of doing this ourselves.
Hmm.
Right. With the eventual goal of becoming 100% Esperanto podcast at one point.
Peace.
Obviously.
Right.
Doesn't need to be said.
But yeah,
Um,
just a heads up about like all of our language abilities though. Like none of us claim to be able to speak all of
I
these
don't
like
even
super well. Like
I don't
we're
even need a
all at
disclaimer.
varying levels, right?
That's not Cody.
Yeah,
That
I
you
don't
don't even have to say that, bro.
yeah, like
Like
this
we're
is
not claiming to be native or anything. Like we're just language
yeah.
learners.
Oh
Like
no.
we're some people that like we'd like to learn languages. If we're not perfect, but that's
Well,
fine.
I'll always remember the anecdote. I think it would have been Matt versus Japan. He had an anecdote where like this one time with this one girl, he was speaking perfect Japanese, and it got less views to when he was talking to like a more intermediate guy, and they were talking, and that got more views. So ironically, people were more interested in hearing, watching the more of the struggle per se than like un perfecto italiano or something, right? So I think that'd be
Mhm.
my disclaimer, is that it's actually it's cool to see actually the growth.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the way it works. We're learning this, right? We're not
Well,
fluent.
My Spanish
Well,
taught me I don't know theirs.
wait.
Llevo pinche 10, no, 12, 2022, ¿no? Casi llevo 12 años hablando pinche español ahora.
Sí, pero 2 años
Pero
es menos que una vida
del
llena
inglés,
de
sí,
un
pero es
idioma por
bastante ahora.
completo. Dime.
Piénsalo, 12 años ahora.
Sí, es
Porque yo soy
mucho.
el viejito de este podcast, de los lenguajólicos. Entonces, estoy mostrándolo que
Sí, eres
pinche,
muy viejo. Eres
tenía
muy viejo.
21 años cuando yo fui a Nicaragua. Entonces, sí, entonces 12 años. Entonces, me siento lo más cómodo en mi
Mm.
español, ¿no? ¿Y
Sí,
cómo no? Porque
eres profesor también del
sí,
colegio, de la secundaria.
pues sí, seguí mi pasión
Sí,
y sí, y el español, porque sí, es la primera lengua extranjera para mí y
sí.
llevo lo más tiempo
Pues,
con ella.
pues alguna cosa con el español que he pensado últimamente es que, pues, ahora siento que no tengo acento. No tengo un acento específico ahora, porque antes tenía el acento,
Castellano,
tuve el
güey.
acento castellano, sí,
Hablaste muy
de
castellano.
España, pero ahora siento que he perdido como mi identidad hispano o hispana, mi identidad hispana. Y
Ok.
pues, o sea, necesito que, creo que necesito practicar, necesito imitar más un acento para, no sé, mantener o avanzar mi español, ¿sabes? Porque cuando
Sí.
veo, por ejemplo, cuando veo muchos youtubers o muchos políglotas diferentes, tienen un
Sí.
acento bastante fuerte de un país hispanohablante.
Específico.
Sí,
Sí,
sí.
¿me
Bueno.
entiendes? ¿Me entiendes? Y ahora siento
Sí.
Sí,
que no
pero
Sí,
tengo una...
últimamente no me importa. A
tienes
mí.
un
Sí,
acento, tienes una, tu acento es una mezcla.
sí, es una mezcla de muchos tipos diferentes. Es como
Sí, sí.
acento
Sí.
sueco, es como acento mexicano, es como acento castellano.
Castellano,
Pero tiene
castellano.
sentido, porque no estás viviendo en un país
Sí,
hispanohablante en este momento. Pero si mañana tú nos dices, yo voy a Argentina mañana,
sí,
Argentina,
pero ahora me siento
entonces me imagino tú tengas este acento.
sí, sí, entiendo tu argumento, pero siento también como me
Mm,
falta
ajá,
algo
ok.
muy
Sí.
clave, una cosa
Mm.
muy clave
Sí.
en el español.
Bueno, bueno, chicos,
Ujú.
¿empezamos con español o qué? Fue,
Sí,
¿Por qué
fue una
no? Sí,
transición muy natural.
el
parece que
inicio
sí,
de este ahorita de poder que
Sí,
sí.
hacemos.
Pues,
Bueno,
pues,
sí. Pinch, ¿tú tienes
Pinch,
un
sí.
acento favorito del
sí.
español? ¿O,
¿Quién?
todos tienes un acento favorito del español para ti o todos son iguales en tu opinión, en tu vista?
Am,
¿Qué es? ¿Qué es tu
mi,
preferencia?
tengo un favorito, pero solamente porque me he acostumbrado mucho
Ajá.
con, con ello y
¿Del
Eso
mexicano?
es
Porque,
mexicano, sí.
bueno,
Bueno, güey.
tenemos
Es lo
un par
más
de amigos de
natural
México.
para los norteamericanos.
Sí, sí.
Sí,
¿Y,
creo que sí.
¿y en qué piensas tú?
No, estoy, no, de verdad, solo depende de dónde estoy consumiendo contento. Entonces, por ejemplo, este año, un objetivo mío es escuchar mucho al podcast de Diana Uribe,
Sí, sí, la
la
historia, ¿no?
historiadora de colombiano. Entonces, ella
Sí,
habla,
colombiana.
obviamente, muy colombiano, pero no es mi objetivo hablar como un colombiano, pero tal
Sí,
vez voy a hacerlo después de escuchar un montón de horas de la voz de ella.
Sí, sí,
Entonces,
sí, sí, pero como he dicho antes, es muy bueno tener como o sea, imitar a alguien para aprender
pues,
algo,
esa es la idea
¿sabes?
del el padre o madre de la lengua, o language parent en
Sí,
inglés.
exacto, exacto, exacto.
Bueno,
Es lo que hago ahora con le québécois, el francés de la
sí,
provincia de Quebec.
sí,
Siento que es bueno solamente tener como un modelo, sí, digamos un padre de un idioma
sí,
para imitarle a él o a ella por aprenderlo. Y pues naturalmente tiene un acento, usa
sí,
palabras específicas. Y por eso siento que es importante, siento que sea importante tenerlo. Solamente eso, es un pensamiento y no es necesario, pero para mí es algo que siento que falta.
ok. Ok, bueno.
Alors, tu écoutes beaucoup de
Ah,
l'air du monde, ouais?
¿De
Alors,
quoi? ¿Cómo?
parce que tu es une fan. Comment dit-on fan en français?
ah,
Alors,
français, mais
Un fan, je crois fan.
tu es un fan de le programme, ce podcast L'air du monde.
Lors de moi, oui.
Ce programme vient de France, n'est-ce pas? Alors,
Oui, c'est ça,
alors
oui, oui,
c'est
oui.
une peu de contenu
Hmm.
français métropolitain. Comment dit-on? Métropolitain.
Métropolitain?
métropole.
Métropolitaine.
Non,
Ten.
métropole, peut-être.
Oh,
C'est
Métropole,
métropole.
c'est ça?
je ne sais pas.
Alors, que veut dire métropole? C'est français parisien, mais un
Non,
mec dans
c'est pas
Marseille, il parle
parisien.
le français
C'est
métropolitain?
c'est français de France.
Oui, c'est français de
Oui.
France, mais c'est spécifiquement, tu sais,
Oh,
en allemand,
non, non,
par
non, non, non.
exemple,
Désolé.
Mais
il y a
non, il y a
Hochdeutsch.
Français de métropole, c'est comme Hochdeutsch.
Exactement, exactement.
OK, mais il y a une phrase OK, parce que j'ai lu le magasin Bien Dire et qu'il y a un mot, un vocabulaire pour une personne qui habite à Paris et une autre
Parisien.
voc OK, un Parisien, mais comment dit-on? C'est comme OK, j'ai besoin d'investiguer ça, mais c'est comme un passage c'est avec un P. Il y a un mot pour tous les autres Français qui ne habitent à Paris. À Paris. Alors, c'est un autre mot. So, il y a les Parisiennes et les autres Français. Pour le prochain épisode, je vais investiguer
OK,
ce
ouais.
mot. Mais quand j'écoute le métropolitain, qu'est-ce que c'est de Paris ou toute la France? OK, je crois que le coude a raison, c'est toute la France, mais peut-être il y a un peu de différence de le français parisien et les autres françaises, like les autres régions dans la France. Par exemple, une personne de Marseille
Ah oui, oui, oui,
ou de
bien sûr.
Lyon.
Alors,
Peut-être.
il y a dans l'ouest de le pays de la France, il y a
Ouais,
territoire, une province,
ouais.
disons, quand on parle.
Provincial, c'est merci beaucoup.
Ah!
Provincial, c'est le mot, c'est le mot.
OK, on dit
Il y a les
provincial, français
parisiennes,
provincial.
provinciales. Et
Oui,
les
mais
provinciales, c'est les autres, les personnes
oui, je comprends.
dehors.
Oui, je comprends.
Voilà, OK,
Mais
merci.
ce que je veux dire, je veux dire un exemple de ça.
Ouais.
Alors, il y a une province en France, on on parle une langue qui est très, très proche à le québécois. C
Ouais?
ouais,
Quelle Provence?
apparemment,
Quel est le nom?
Je ne sais pas, je ne me souviens pas je ne me rappelle pas le nom de cette province-là, mais c'est apparemment vraiment très, très proche à le québécois.
C'est un accent? Quoi?
Un accent, oui, un
Un
accent,
accent.
un
Ah, OK.
accent.
Mmh.
En fait,
Ouais.
j'ai entendu dire ça de cette chaîne de YouTube, de ma prof
Ah,
de
OK, OK,
français.
OK. Ah oui, oui,
Ah,
Hem,
le
mais
prof.
c'est une province, assez petite,
Ouais.
apparemment et oui,
C'est
apparemment, les
étrange.
gens là sont le immigrant la plupart de la immigration,
Du
au
Québec?
Canada, au Québec spécifiquement,
Ah, en France.
heu, oui,
ah,
exactement, vient de cette
Oui.
province-là, de l'ouest de la
OK.
France.
ah oui.
Parce que OK, le québécois, c'est comme le français ancien. So, par exemple, quand les Fédérois, parce qu'il y avait le roi Louis le 16e,
Oui,
le roi dans l'histoire dans la France, qui parle, au Québec, la France, là-bas, c'est l'ancien français.
Mmh,
So,
oui.
de quelle époque? Qui
oui.
parle. So, il y a beaucoup de les caractéristiques au français québécois qui sont part de l'ancien français.
Il y a cet argument aussi pour l'anglais.
Ah
L'anglais,
oui,
nord-américain.
oui,
Oui,
oui, oui,
oui,
bien
j'ai
sûr, bien
entendu
sûr.
dire ça aussi.
Fait que
Ouais.
l'anglais américain, par exemple, c'était l'anglais, ancien
Ah
d'Europe, de,
oui.
Grande-Bretagne.
Ah parce que après 300-400 ans, évidemment, il y a une évolution sur les 2 continents.
Une
Oui,
évolution, oui, oui,
Oui,
oui,
oui
oui.
ouais,
et apparemment, c'est les
Apparemment,
Anglais qui ont changé son accent.
oui,
apparemment.
oui, oui, oui,
Mmh.
ouais, mais vraiment, peut-être un peu controversiel, peut-être non. Je crois que les variétés de français est plus intéressante que les variétés de l'espagnol, par exemple.
Oh, c'est
C'est
très, très
à mon avis.
controverse.
À mon avis, c'est
Polémique,
une
vraiment
chose
polémique.
Polémique,
un peu
polémique.
polémique parce que pourquoi pas? Pourquoi? Il y a, par exemple, le Cajun, par exemple, dans le Louisiane, c'est très
Louisiane?
intéressant. Qu'est-ce que c'est ça? La Louisiane, le Nouvelle-Orléans? C'est le français là-bas. Le Haïti, qui parle le français, mais aussi en même temps parle, oh, comment? Aide-moi. Parle
Créole?
le créole. Le créole. Très intéressant, très intéressant.
Oui, mais
Ça.
on peut dire aussi que l'anglais, les variations
Oui,
dans
oui,
l'anglais
oui.
est la même.
OK, mais quelle est plus intéressante? D'une
Ça
perspective.
dépend de la
Ça
personne.
dépend,
Oui, ça
exactement.
dépend.
Maintenant,
Ça
pour moi, le
dépend.
français est évidemment, plus intéressant
Oui.
Oui, non,
que
parce que
l'espagnol.
me fascinent aussi les variétés de l'espagnol, bien sûr, mais récemment, avec un peu de les investigations sur Afrique, aussi, un peu dans les Polynésie, il y avait mon les distances de la colonie française dans l'histoire étaient très, très gros.
Mmh.
Alors, hem et ça a eu naissance à beaucoup de variétés de le français et récemment, je crois, OK, le français, il est, plus à investiguer pour les différents
Wow.
accents. C'est à mon
Oui,
avis, à
c'est
mon
c'est
avis.
c'est très intéressant parce que il y a 5 ou 10 minutes, je pensais que j'avais je pensais que, le français n'a pas la même variété d'accent que
Non,
l'espagnol, mais
je ne crois pas, je ne crois pas.
tu as raison mec, tu as raison.
Je crois, récemment,
Mm.
oui, beaucoup de variétés avec ça.
Ah oui, je crois qu'il y a une variété dans quelqu'un ou à chacun langue du monde.
Oui,
Mais oui, le français et l'espagnol, évidemment, sont deux langues vraiment très grandes,
oui, ouais,
très
non, non, non,
grandes dans
exactement,
le monde.
le plus
Alors,
connu.
naturellement, il y a cette variation dans la langue. Mais c'est
Oui,
intéressant, c'est vraiment intéressant. Je suis
oui,
d'accord, complètement d'accord. Et oui, le français, c'est une langue qui est vraiment très, très commun ici en Amérique du Nord, spécialement avec Québec, mais il y a aussi des variations
variation.
aux États-Unis, tu sais.
États-Unis, par exemple, Vermont, un état que tu connais très
Oui, mais
bien,
on ne parle pas français là. Il n'y a pas de
non?
français là, non,
Non.
Vermont et le Nouveau-Hampshire?
non,
Non,
il n'y a pas de français.
seulement en Louisiane, je crois.
Non,
Et au
non.
Canada
Alors,
aussi.
comme une deuxième langue, non? Vermont?
Non, 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 il n'y a
Non.
pas de français. C'est très, très
Mais il y a
anglophone.
une histoire de français là-bas.
Oui, mais maintenant,
Vraiment?
c'est très anglophone.
Ok, mais ok, mon point, ok. Mais il y a une histoire
Ouais,
là-bas. Parce
ouais.
que si tu cherches qui est les plus États le plus français dans les États-Unis, je crois le Vermont et le Nouveau-Hampshire, c'est les deux
Historiquement,
plus.
peut-être. Oh,
Historiquement, mais je crois
la
les
Louisiane,
camps.
évidemment, la Louisiane.
Alors, Louisiane a la culture plus unique, mais
Oui,
je ne
mais je
sais.
crois que la Louisiane était le seul
État.
province. Non, État, le seul territoire français. Parce que je ne crois pas que Vermont et
Oui,
Nouveau-Hampshire étaient
Non, non.
français.
oui. Je suis
Alors, ok, un
d'accord
peu. Non, non,
avec
non, ce n'est pas une
Marcus.
chose
Marcus?
de cause, c'est une fact ou non, c'est une
Mmh.
fait ou non. Alors, ok, Ambition
Mais
Deutsch
mais ein bisschen
oder
Deutsch pour,
okay.
pour
Ich
also,
werde suche diese Fakt und
dein
Okay.
Deutsch
wie bitte
ist
sprechen auf
herregnia.
Deutsch.
Suédois,
Such
schwerer.
mal.
Ja,
Schwerer?
also.
Also, ich glaube, dass dein Deutsch ist besser als mein no, no, no,
Einen Moment,
Aber
einen Moment,
jetzt,
jetzt.
einen
jetzt,
Moment.
weil ich habe kein Deutsch geübt.
Oh,
Und
no, kein
Du hast,
Problem, kein
du hast
Problem.
überhaupt kein Deutsch geübt.
ich habe überhaupt kein Deutsch geübt. Also ich fühle mich wirklich sehr schlecht. Sehr, sehr
Also,
schlecht.
Also ist
okay.
oh,
Oh, kannst du meine Karte sehen?
dein
Schirme.
Bildschirm. Das ist dein
Also,
Bildschirm.
hier ist, was geht ab?
Was
Ähm,
geht ab?
Oh, was
Äh,
geht ab?
hier, die Prozent, die Burger,
Ah, okay, du hast
Ah,
recht.
aha,
weil
ja,
no,
Frankreich.
ich sehe kein
Hier, ja, du kannst sehen.
Bildschirm.
So
Vielleicht ein
viele
bisschen,
Frankreich,
ein
ein bisschen,
bisschen
ja,
Französen.
ein bisschen, ja.
Okay, du hast recht. Du hast
Okay,
recht.
ja, das war mein
Und
Punkt.
Und
Ja.
auch in Kanada, oh, ein bisschen Français. Le français de Nouvelle-Brunswick et le français de
Ja,
l'Acadien en Nouvelle-Écosse.
ja, genau.
Mhm.
Aha, 2,
Also können wir
ja, ebenfalls.
über Deutsch in Amerika sprechen, bitte?
Ja, oh ja, ich
Ja,
habe
ja,
eine
Ja,
sehr, sehr
Ellbogen.
interessante,
sa
oh Gott, was ist
Beispiel?
das? Ja, ein Beispiel, ja.
Ja,
Ähm,
genau.
es ist nicht ein Beispiel, es ist nur ein, ah,
Ja,
egal.
ja, ja, verstehe.
Ich weiß nicht, wann das war, aber im 19. Jahrhundert, ich glaube,
Aha,
es gab eine Wahl. Es gab eine Wahl. Was soll die die offizielle Sprache in die USA.
Du hast recht,
Und
Elbogs.
ja, und es war sehr, sehr knapp zwischen
Super knapp.
Deutsch
Ja.
und Englisch.
Ja, ich denke, Benjamin Franklin hat
Deutsch gewählt.
Entscheiden, decide,
Gewählt.
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 Oh, entscheidet.
Entscheidet. Warum ist die Frage? Und ich glaube, weil die Kolonie Inglese, wie sagt man auf Deutsch? Englisch Kolonie,
ja.
englische Kolonie
Kolonien.
und danach Benjamin Franklin und die anderes Politikerin, like, okay, English raus. Jetzt, wir sind, wie sagt man, abgenannt? No, wie sagt man independent? Abneigen? Oder?
Ich
ab-
wusste das.
Super schlecht.
Ja, also,
Nein,
so,
super schwer.
like Benjamin Franklin hat gesagt, okay, raus Englisch, jetzt wir sprechen Deutsch, vielleicht, und ja, du hast recht, Elbogs, ich war im Fall.
Yes.
Abneigen?
Unabhängig.
Unabhängig.
Ja, das ist
Unabhängig.
recht. Das ist richtig, ja.
Okay, ja,
Unabhängig.
aber knapp,
Super knapp.
was ist knapp? Was ist
Knapp,
Close.
knapp.
Okay,
Das
knapp.
war
Dankeschön,
super knapp.
Dankeschön. Super knapp. Ja, sehr, sehr. Okay. Wie sagt man Imagínate auf Deutsch? Like, vorstellen?
Stell dir vor.
Stell dir vor, okay,
Stellt euch vor.
Amerika hatte Deutsch sprechen und
Oh Gott.
Das ist nicht recht.
und
Kein
like
Problem.
Nazi Germany, like un ally oder
Nazi-Deutschland.
nicht? Like,
Oh.
like,
Stell dir
Amerika spricht Deutsch für 200 Jahre und in der, wie sagt man Second World War auf Deutsch?
Der Zweite Weltkrieg.
Krieg, ja, genau. So, es gibt ein Ally und Freund von Hitler oder nicht?
Ja, das ist eine
wann
sehr
sch-
gute Frage. Oh Gott, wie würde man das sagen?
ja,
Wie hätte
aha.
diese Entscheidung die
Ja.
Welt beeinflussen würde?
Wirken Effekt? Wirken? Das wirkt?
Wirken? Wirken is effect, but beeinflussen is like influence.
Einfluss, ja, genau. Aha. Ja, so ein bisschen, wie sagt man Exercise? Umfang?
Übung.
Übung
Übung.
ist da. Ja, also, aha, das ist,
Wenn Amerika Deutsch sprechen
genau.
werden
Hätten.
hätten.
Habt euch mein Poll auf Twitter gesehen?
Ich habe gewählt.
gesehen?
Ich habe
Okay,
gewählt.
ja, war interessant. Ich hatte 4 Wale, das ist richtig? Wale, like Cases oder für mich,
Oh Gott.
ja, okay, für mich Cases und like separable verbs und prepositions und long words. Ja, alles für mich ist ein bisschen schwierig.
Ja,
Schwer.
schwierig. Oder
Schwierig.
schwer, ja.
Ja, aber meine Frage für die Leute, like, was ist, wie sagt man, the hardest?
Schwersten.
Schwersten, ja. Ja. Und ein bisschen alles für mich. Auf Deutsch.
Okay.
Also,
Ja, alles ist sehr schwer.
ja.
alles
Oh
ist
Gott, ich
genau.
fühle mich auch, dass mein Deutsch ein bisschen schlechter wird.
Ja, mein Französisch
Viele
ist
Koreanisch. Aber
ja.
das ist natürlich. Das ist natürlich.
Ja, das
Nein?
ist zu viel Koreanisch für mich.
Zu viel
Also, in dieses Poll,
Ja.
Cases hat gewonnen.
Okay. Ja.
Ja, ich
Ist
dachte,
schwersten.
das würde der Fall.
Die
Ja.
schwersten Ding von Deutsch.
Genau.
Genau.
Bom,
Ja.
português?
Pouco,
Pouco. Português?
pouco
Ok.
português.
Cotovelo, codo não
Falando
fala
com a
muito.
gente.
Não fala muito. Mas, codo. Você pode entender quando falamos português?
Pouco.
Eu pude entender.
Ok, sim.
Eu
É
posso.
meu ponto del. Como se diz? Contenido incompreensível. E neste momento eu posso falar para que cotovelo entende.
Entende.
Sim.
Então,
Cotovelo
sim,
entende.
é muito importante falar para a gente entender. Esse é o ponto de conteúdo compreensível.
Estou de acordo.
Sim. É
As
muito.
línguas, na verdade, as línguas românticas são vraiment
Sim,
muito fáceis entendê-las.
sim, algumas coisas muito diferentes. Por
Diferentes,
exemplo,
isso.
neste momento eu faço muito muito italiano. Uma parte de a minha sistema dia para português. Por exemplo, hoje foi para português e amanhã para italiano. Sim, muitas similaridades, um pouco diferentes. Mas
É verdade.
muito diferente. Como se diz? Romanian, Romanian, é muito diferente. Ok, não é muito diferente, mas os adjetivos em romaniano são muito diferentes.
Muito
Não,
diferente.
não
Não é
é
semelhante.
muito difícil reconhecer os adjetivos em romana.
É.
A minha ideia de uma anchor language é um pouco difícil aplicar algumas partes de romana. É diferente. E também romana é semelhante a sueco, com esta
O
ideia do artículo definido está parte do vocabulário mesmo. So, por exemplo,
Que interessante
kvinnan, la mujer,
Sim.
também romana usa esta estrutura.
É complicado, senhor. É complicado isso,
É uma
entendê-lo.
língua romance.
Eu não entendo isso. É bastante complicado, infelizmente. Para o
Infelizmente.
sueco.
Alguns similares. Bueno,
Tudo
how's
bem.
that for the power hour?
Muito
Folks?
bem.
First one.
É suficiente.
한국어.
한국어.
조금
Yes.
지금
Okay.
Dude, you gotta show off some of your
감사-
Hangul. We've been lacking a lot of
제
this lately.
한국어
감사합니다.
아니요. 지금
아니요.
한국어 못해요. 지금
Mote?
나중에 한국어 나중에
Najunge?
한국어 봐요.
한국말 나중에
Hago,
네.
kimchi하고,
Mas-
Train to
Alright, we'll get
Busan하고,
Coreano viene. Coreano está no futuro.
Squid Game 하고.
Squid Game. I showed my parents Squid Game. Loved it. Best. Great show. Then I showed them
Love it.
Parasite. I was like, well, we should just keep rocking the Korean.
Parasite hago. Pinche colo,
Show up.
cotovelo hago.
괜찮아.
Quinchana. Nay. It's going.
Oh,
Coreano.
cotovelo. Can you
Oh, yeah,
say,
천천히와.
Why don't
Can
you
you
do
do-
Cool, you do
Cotovelo.
like a little spiel.
do a little
soliloquy.
monologue. Just like do a little monologue. Just introduce
Yeah.
yourself and tell the
What
tell
you're
the
gonna do
world
today?
what you're
I'll just say a thought I had.
Perfect.
Okay, so 지금은 나는 유럽 언어로 생각해서 한국어 조금 헷갈려.
Sengak? Like you thought of
근데-
something?
So I said like I'm speaking too many European languages right now,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm getting a little bit confused in Korean. I was thinking about switching to Korean. I was like,
No.
조금 헷갈려. Like I'm a little bit confused. 근데
There is
매일-
that delay that
매일-
Spock talks about.
근데 매일 한국어 열심히 공부하고 있고
He's gonna study Korean.
매일 개선하는 느낌 있어. So every day I'm studying Korean hard
every day,
and-
mail. Right.
and I'm getting the feeling that I'm improving every day.
For sure, man.
그래서
네.
내 한국어랑 행복한 느낌 있어. So I have a happy feeling about
네.
my Korean.
맞아요. Cool.
Dude,
All
you,
right,
and
folks.
especially with you, I think like you need to use Panma with me because I'm younger than you, and I need to call you Hyung, and I need to use
Right.
Chondema.
That's
with
right.
you.
That's right. Respect your elders.
Mhm.
Yeah. Korean's coming 2022, folks. Don't you worry. All right, folks.
Quite
I don't know if I said the episode number at the top. This is episode 60, by the way, of Langolic Podcast.
60.
60. We'll get into the crazy French numbers soon enough.
70.
But yeah, hope everyone had a great start to their 2022. We lost to the Lingaholics. Check us out on Twitter. We'll be there. And
Yeah, check us out.
boys,
Definitely on Twitter.
we'll be
Definitely
there.
on Twitter.
Tuiteamos, pues.
Tuiteamos. Ok. Tchau.
All right.
Cotovelo, últimas palavras para a gente.
Seus plau.
안녕히 가세요.
Tchau.
안녕히 가세요.